Hi there, Optavia family. My name is Emily Baker. I've been a health coach for almost 3 years now, and I am very excited to come to you tonight to share a little bit about a topic that's pretty close to my heart that I've learned a lot about through experience, and that is weathering life's storms and how to really stay the course with your health goals when life throws you curveballs. So we'll be talking about that a little later. But I would love to tell you a little bit about my background before that. So for me, I am 29 years old now, but I have struggled with my health, my weight, most of my life. When I was 11, I developed narcolepsy. Really struggled, was later diagnosed with that and some other health and autoimmune issues. So I went from a, healthy 11-year-old little girl to kind of blowing up overnight. And looking back, I really recognize that I coped with my emotions through numbing myself with food. So really fell into some unhealthy emotional eating habits. Any diet out there you name, program, plan, I have tried, would always gain the weight back. So when I think to where I was just a few years ago, over 200 pounds, my energy, at 25 when it's hard to tie your shoes or walk up a flight of stairs, it's kind of a wake-up call. And even more than that for me, I was really dealing with some depression, anxiety, when I think about how, my health was really affecting my relationships and the good things in my life. It was keeping me from wanting to be in pictures or participating, putting on a bathing suit, just going out of the house. I felt like I was stuck in someone else's life, in someone else's body. And I knew, there was more out there for me and I wanted change. So thank goodness for this program. I got on board. I lost 70 pounds in 7 months. And in October, it actually marked 3 years now that I have kept it off. And that has been amazing. So pretty much night and day, today I am a completely different person. I have energy, a lot of what I just attributed to my narcolepsy, honestly, I thought, was just status quo. It was just, how life would be for me, was actually a result of my poor diet. And what I was putting in my body. So my energy level, my brain fog, just a lot started changing. My mindset, and my narcolepsy doctor was even noticing. So one of my biggest non-scale victories, the biggest change in my life that has come from this is the realization of a dream that I never thought possible. And for me, that was this year getting my driver's license at 28 years old, and having that independence, which I absolutely never imagined would be possible. So it's just, my interactions with others, my outlook on life, how I deal with stress, it's all changed for the better. And I started coaching, started helping others. And honestly, my main reasoning for that was accountability. I wanted to keep the weight off. And I love my mom, and she needed help and would not talk to my health coach. So that's how I got involved in coaching. And honestly, my favorite thing, both about the program and about coaching, would have to be our amazing community. This is pretty, kind of raw and honest, but, I come from a family of 6, most of which have physical or mental health issues. So really growing up, and then even as I got older, was in a not, very positive environment. It was very negative, a lot of anxiety, very glass half empty, and that's how I got to be. So this has really just been a breath of fresh air, this amazing community that is supportive. They believe in me. We encourage one another to grow and learn. And the inspiration that comes from that, from my clients, from all of you, has just been amazing. So that's my favorite part of coaching. But I would love to share, a little bit more about the topic at hand. And to do that, I will share with you kind of what my life has looked like since I got healthy. So I lost my 70 pounds, kind of maintained my health for about a year, when life threw me some serious curveballs. Which is our topic tonight. So I got diagnosed with chronic Lyme disease. Had unknowingly had that for a few years, and started IV treatment for that kind of these past 2 years, having migraines and fatigue and dizziness and aches and pains. And, I will tell you, the old me, when that happened, would have gained back those 70 plus pounds in a heartbeat. Because of those emotions. And I'm not perfect. One thing that did happen was to my knowledge, I put on about 8 pounds the second time I dealt with another bout of it. So I really have learned through that some tips and tricks to help, hopefully, some of you, because life will throw you those curveballs and obstacles. So I would love to share those with you. So my number one piece of advice is really adapting a mind shift and changing the way you look at your life. Because we're all in this for life. It's not a diet. This is long term we're talking about. And, unfortunately in life, we're always going to have, tragedy or sadness or obstacles. These are just part of life. So really accepting that, knowing, one of the things we learn as a health coach, one of our habits of leadership is really to learn to embrace obstacles as the way, to really learn and grow from them rather than fight against them. So knowing that these things are going to happen, and it's up to us to choose whether we're going to work towards our health or whether we're not when those, when those events happen in our life. So kind of adapting that mind shift. My second, piece of advice is kind of another thing with changing the way you look at things. I know for me, in the past, when I would do diets, I relied on willpower and then would get super frustrated when that didn't work. And we all know that diets fail, right? They don't work. So really utilizing the power of your why and using that why power. So for each of us, that is different. Maybe for some of us, that's, to be able to get down on the floor and roll around with their grandkids and see them grow up. For others, it might be to go off medication. For me, I am called to, by example, inspire and lead others with disabilities or different health issues and show what's possible and inspire hope in them. So whatever that why is for you, it should be that burning flame in your chest. And there was a quote I was looking on Pinterest before this. It says, "Obstacles are put in your way to see if what you want is really worth fighting for." So doesn't that speak volumes, to have that why, so that, life is going to happen. These things happen to you, but if that why is strong enough, you're going to power through. My next piece of advice, whether you're brand new or you're, seasoned, you've been, on your journey and in optimal health a while, if you have not opened up your Dr. A's Habits of Health book and the corresponding workbook, you are missing out. That is such a crucial part of what we do. It's really going to help you identify what your triggers are, identify any unhealthy habits. So for me, prior to this, I didn't really identify as an emotional eater. I wasn't super aware of where my vulnerabilities were, so really becoming aware is half the battle. So kind of identifying those things, knowing what your triggers are, and that book is going to really help you set you up for success in that department. The next thing, and this, honestly was kind of tough for me. And if there are any other emotional eaters out there tonight, it might be tough for you too. And that's learning to allow yourself to feel emotion, whether that's anger, despair, depression, maybe you have a loved one that passes away, you get an unfortunate diagnosis, something with your personal relationships, your family, whatever that is. Our tendency is usually to want to numb that, right? Whether we're numbing it with food, with drink, some of us turn to alcohol. As humans, we tend to want to numb that feeling